Canada Smart Mind é uma escola de idiomas e imigração. Aqui, vamos ajudar você a melhorar o seu inglês e francês, e conseguir imigrar, e se adaptar ao mercado de trabalho, e à sociedade canadense. Queremos o seu sucesso nesta jornada, e contamos com você, para divulgar o nosso nome para crescer, e contribuir cada vez mais com o seu sucesso. Aqui você vai ter a nossa ajuda em inglês, francês e português. Agora, vamos lá!
Awesome to get you back here. You know that work is the essential thing that can make your life successful in any country. Here, I'm going to show you how to search for your new job in Canada and to participate in conversations. In order to appear clever and be comfortable, you will have here 1. Job searching ideas, 2. Templates, 3. Tips. This video will help you to find and get your work, adjust yourself to it, and settle in your new Canadian life. 1. Job searching ideas. Finding jobs with Indeed job search. Experiencing job loss is one of the top 5 most stressful events in a person's life, along with taking actions to protect your health and that of your loved ones. Right now can be a difficult and confusing time to look for a job. There are, however, several simple steps you can take to empower yourself towards finding and getting a job. 1. Perform a self-assessment. If you've lost your job, start by filing for unemployment benefits as soon as possible. Take some time to consider your current situation. If your last job was in an industry impacted by COVID-19, such as travel or hospitality, you may need to widen your search to other jobs and industries. To find a job more quickly, consider the transferable skills and experience you gained in those jobs that could be translated to other similar positions. For example, a flight attendant is required to be highly adaptable, remain calm and prepared for emergency situations, have excellent communication skills, have excellent customer service skills. Those skills may be well suited to jobs in customer service, sales or healthcare. Consider what other jobs may also require the skills you've built so far in your career. 2. Browse available careers. After you've identified your transferable skills, qualities, and experiences, take some time to browse for currently available jobs on Indeed that may be good options for you in the what field. Try using keywords related to your soft and hard skills such as customer service or social media in the where field. You might either type the location where you're looking for jobs or use words like remote or work from home in that field. You should also consider emerging job opportunities as COVID-19 continues to affect how businesses operate across the country. For example, many cities need essential personnel such as grocery clerks, healthcare professionals, food and grocery delivery professionals and more. If helpful, you might consider creating a free Indeed account to save jobs and track your application status. Downloading the Indeed app and the Indeed for Chrome extension may also make saving, applying for and tracking jobs more convenient. 3. Narrow your search. Once you've got a good idea of available jobs that may be a good fit with your background, narrow your search by looking for more specific job titles as opposed to keywords. You can filter your job search on this search results page either by using the left-hand filtering panel or by clicking Advanced Job Search next to the Find Jobs button. With either of these functions, you can filter your results by job type, full or part-time, contract, etc., salary, company, location and more. Create job alerts to get email updates about new jobs that fit your criteria. You can manage the frequency and criteria of your job alerts through your Indeed account. 4. Update and upload your resume. When you're ready to start applying, it is best to tailor your resume to each job you apply for. This is a good opportunity to highlight each of the transferable skills you have as it relates to the needs of each employer. Remember to review the job description and use relevant keywords in your resume. For example, if the job description lists that the candidate should have at least 5 years of customer service experience, and that is true for you, put it in an easily identifiable place, like your resume summary at the top of the page. If you are applying for a new job title or industry, you might try using a functional or skills-based resume template, which prioritizes relevant skills instead of related professional experience. Once you've updated your resume, upload it to your Indeed account to easily apply for jobs. Set it to public to allow employers to contact you about available jobs that might be a good fit. For your background, you can also use the library of professional resume templates to build one on Indeed. Add your resume to Indeed so employers can contact you when your profile matches a job they're trying to fill.
Agora você tem o texto, lembre-se de entrar em contato. Na descrição você tem o nosso contato.
Now that you have these ideas, let's improve your chances to get a job in Canada. 2. Templates. What is a resume? A resume is a document that includes important details like your employment history, achievements, skills, and qualifications. You may send your resume to prospective employers to show your interest in their open position and to allow them to evaluate your suitability for the job. Before emailing your resume, it's important to make sure you're providing the most up-to-date information and that you've tailored the details. You include the job you're applying for. An employer may request that you email them your resume, and reviewing your resume as appropriate will prepare you for submitting it to your potential new manager. 5 steps to email a resume. Here are the steps you can follow to email your resume to a prospective employer. 1. Follow the instructions carefully. Once you create or update your resume, consider reviewing the instructions within the job posting to understand how the employer wants their candidates to submit their job applications. And supplemental documents. If the post asks you to send your resume via email, ensure you know the email address to use, the subject line format, your resume's file name, and any other question that they may want you to answer in the body of the email. Reading the instructions carefully can improve your chances of moving to the next stage of the hiring process, as it shows employers how good you are at following instructions, which can increase their confidence in you as a potential candidate. 2. Attach your resume. When sending a resume via email, you usually have 2 options. You can either attach the resume as a file or send it in the body of the email, but this depends on the instructions you receive from the employer. If you must attach the resume as a file, here are some of the most common file formats you can use: doc or docx, PDF, RTF. The employers may specify which file format they prefer, but if they don't, consider attaching a PDF version. While other file formats may render differently depending on the program version you and your recipient is using, a PDF version is more likely to display in the same you intend to send your resume as an attachment. Follow these tips. Create your resume in a word processing program. Separate the resume from the cover letter and create file names that are clear, professional, and make it easy for employers to identify your files once they download them. Ensure that the file is free of any virus and the format is correct. If you must send your resume in the body of the email, think about following these steps. Copy and paste your resume a few spaces just below your brief introduction. Keep everything justified to the left and use business style. Send the email to a friend to ensure it opens correctly before sending it to an employer. Some recruiters may not ask for a cover letter, but depending on the information you receive, decide if it's important to email both the cover letter and resume. You may copy and paste your cover letter in the email body or attach it as a separate file in your email. If you choose not to include a cover letter, ensure you write a summary of your interest in the job and state that you have attached your resume for easy reference. 3. Use a strong subject line. Your email address and email subject line create a first impression for the recruiter, so consider how you can write a subject line that showcases your professionalism while also securing the hiring manager's consideration. Here are some tips for writing an excellent email subject line. Keep it short and clear. Write a brief subject line that's around 50 characters or less. The first information should show your interest in applying for the job and attract the reader's attention. Include referral details. If you learned about the job opening through a referral, include the name of the person in the subject line. Referrals build credibility, and it's usually an added advantage to a job seeker. Follow the instructions. Read the job description carefully and be sure to follow any submission instructions that the employer has included. Many times, employers will discard any candidate who hasn't followed the directions. Be professional. Keep the email subject line professional and avoid using abbreviations if the job post doesn't include them. Proofread. Proofreading your subject line helps you identify spelling and grammatical errors, ensuring you show yourself in the most professional way. Using your email provider to conduct a spell check, which can identify a lot of common mistakes before you complete a final proofread. If the job description does not have instructions on how to apply and you lack referral, your subject line can include two of the following: the reason for sending your email, job title, job location, job ID, your name. 4. Use a professional email address. A professional email builds credibility and trust to recruiters, so consider creating a new one. If your current email is more personal or casual, you can visit the websites of different email service providers to create a professional email address that you can use for all of your job search process. Before submitting your resume to your recruiter, send yourself or a trusted friend the email to make sure everything displays well. Consider testing that the attachment opens properly. Resume is free of grammatical errors. Dates in your resume are correct. 5. Follow up, because it's possible that there is an issue with the email server and the hiring manager doesn't receive your resume. Consider following up on your submission. You may even find the hiring manager has your application but hasn't reviewed it. If your email isn't in their inbox, ask if you can resend your resume so they can see it right away.
Agora você tem a regra gramatical. Lembre-se de entrar em contato. Na descrição você tem o nosso contato.
Now, you have these cool templates, so let's get some inspiration there. You will get your job and go to Canada. 3. Tips. What is a resignation letter? A resignation letter is a formal document you present to your manager or employer, explaining your departure from your job. Usually, employees provide a resignation letters after verbally explaining their resignation to their company. The resignation letter is simply a formality, and human resources often include it in the employee's personnel file. Resignation letter format. It is always best to speak directly with your manager before sending a resignation letter to give them as much time as possible to prepare. If you work remotely or do not see your manager in person, ask if you can have a conversation by video chat or on the phone. Typically, a resignation letter includes the following information: statement of resignation from the company, date of last day of work, statement of gratitude. Next steps are important information. Signature. Why are resignation letters important? If you decide to leave your job, it is a matter of professional courtesy to submit a resignation letter. Resignation letters are also crucial for HR departments to keep on hand as a record of your time at the company for things like payroll and to reference in the future if necessary. These letters are also important because they contain essential operational information for your direct manager, such as your last day and what is needed as you plan your departure from the company. How to write a resignation letter. Writing a resignation letter can be a simple process. If you follow a few key steps before writing your letter, you should consult with your direct supervisor or HR manager to follow any processes your company has in place regarding resignations. For example, they might ask you to provide specific information or send your letter to certain people at the company. Follow these steps to write a resignation letter. Record the time and date. Start with an address line. Include a statement of resignation. List your last day or work. Add a statement of gratitude. List next steps or important information. Close with your signature. 1. Record the time and date in a standard business letter. It's typical to include the time, date and a few other details to keep a record of timestamps in an email. This information is not necessary as it is digitally available. If you are planning to type a letter, you should include this information at the top of the page. 2. Start with an address line. Address the recipient by name. You can use introductions like Dear Hello or simply Mr. Ms. Supervisor's last name. 3. Include a statement of resignation. Clearly state that you are writing to submit your formal resignation from the company. If you'd like, you can include your position title as well. 4. List your last day of work. While it is standard to provide 2 weeks notice, your company might have specific instruction around what your last date of work should be. After getting this information from a direct manager, list the date and weekday of your final day at the company. 5. Add a statement of gratitude. It is always a good career decision to keep your relationships positive. Writing 1 or 2 sentences explaining what you are thankful for about your time at the company will help foster a peaceful transition. 6. List next steps or important information. List any key information the recipient should be aware of regarding your transition. These details can be worked out with your manager ahead of time. If you're not sure of what to write, simply adding that you are happy to do whatever you can to make the transition as smooth as possible will be appreciated. 7. Close with your signature. Finish the letter by signing your name after a closing statement like sincerely or thank you.
Agora você tem o exercício, lembre-se de entrar em contato. Na descrição você tem o nosso contato.
Now, you have nice tips, so join us to write your story in the comments section below. Ask whatever you want in the comments and we will do our best to answer you. You see us in our next video. Bye for now.